Wow. Question: Ruben Langdon and the rest of the cast of Devil May Cry 5 had a more creative influence over the translation of the game because of Capcom's lesser restrictions with it. Were the Capcom restrictions as loose in the translations of Resident Evil 2 or 4, or were you simply given an unchangeable script?
No, it always adapts. I mean, there's a lot of voices in the room. Uh, Capcom hires very particular people for a reason. They trust these people, and what I mean by that is the cinematic director, and very importantly, the localization director. And so they are on every single shoot, and every line that is spoken, um, every scenario, it's coming from a Japanese script or maybe an English script, then it's translated in Japanese so they can understand it there in Japan, and then they translate it back in English. It's like a kind of like a merry-go-round. And then when it gets time for the scenes, just like any project, the director will see what's happening in the scene, always want to go through some changes, like maybe something's not really working. So they'll fine tune that. And then they'll have to translate that, interpret it with the Japanese people on the call, and say, "Listen, this we're making the suggestion for a change because it's for a Western audience, and a Westerner, an American, maybe might not say that in this situation. They might say something like this." And then it's just like a back and forth of like trying to convince the other parties of why it might make more sense to do this or that. And so it's a very, very collaborative, respectful, creative process, and it's fascinating. I really think it's fun doing that. It's quicker to work with English speaking companies. It's a little quicker, yeah, but the interpretation and the dance between us is really addicting, actually, and I always have fun with it.
Nice. And I like how, as long as there is that level of collaboration, right, and level of respect, it leaves room to make the best product possible, instead of digging your heels in and say it has to be this way.
Yeah, because these games are essentially made for a Western audience, and
Mm,
American culture, Western culture is very different from Japanese culture, and so
yeah,
it's literally just those types of differences more than the language. It's the cultural understandings and the connotations.
absolutely.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.